Welcome. This is evening. Good evening. Happy Friday. Or whenever you are looking at this video. Hope everything's going well, guys. I do have two channels that I would beg you and plead with you to take a peek at. One channel is the Tom Brand One. That's a comedy channel. The other channel is Tom from the Bleachers Sports Show, and that is a sports show. You guessed it. So, how the hell have you been? How the hell have you been, guys? Find myself in the Philly area, hopping a skip a jump away from Philly. Damn it, the city of Philly is truly the city of brotherly love. I feel the love. Heading back to New York, so I got some time to kill. We're about 2 hours away from Philly. My GPS here is saying 1 hour and 45 minutes as I'm at a stop sign. It is nearly impossible, folks, to make a left in Jersey. Because I'm actually on the border of Jersey, Pennsylvania, rather, if you want to be technical, but I'm near Philly. Nearly impossible to make a left-hand turn. And that will continue to be the story here. So I'm at a stop sign. One thing I'll tell you about Philly. By the way, Chick-fil-A. Top-notch service. Top-notch service. One thing I'll tell you about, even like places like border Jersey, Pennsylvania, especially even if you go out in the South, this is a continuous. Jesus. Is there any? And apparently there are no red lights here in Jersey, but this is a continuous thing here for me. People are so damn nice out here. So damn nice.
Turn left on Green Tree Road.
Can't turn left there, buddies. We'll go straight. But people are so nice, just in general. Right? There's no such thing as honking.
Turn right on Parana Boulevard.
No such thing as honking. However, in New York, honking every chance, every turn that you get. People are so nice over here. They open up the doors for you. It's a great experience. It's a great experience.
Turn right on Abbey Road.
I'm going to turn right here. You got right here, folks. We're going to have to make a U-ey. Because it's so damn difficult to make a left, we're going to go around. But yeah, people are so nice. Like New York, it is like a hustle and bustle type of thing where it's constantly just people are always on the go, always on the move, never friendly, just honking. Move, get out of my way. You gotta be careful, or else they'll knock you over.
Turn left on Marl Chris Road.
Who wants to be knocked over, right? So nice out here. And I don't know, why that is with humanity, and I don't know why. Do people just get stressed out with life and always in a rush? Why is everyone always in a rush? Always in a rush. Where are you guys in a rush to? Stop, smell the roses. I never understood that with society and people. Life is too short, man. Just take the time and smell
Turn
the
left
roses.
on Purcell's Boulevard, then take the first left.
Take the time and smell the roses. Right? Yeah, so that's, what we did in Philly. Loving the Philly area. People are so nice. How are you? People open up the door for you. You open the door for other people. And when you do, they don't get offended.
Turn left on Purcell's Boulevard, then take the first right.
I tell you, man, some people get offended when you're opening up the door for people in New York. It's like they think that you're hitting on them.
Turn right at the stop sign.
As you can see, as the GPS is going all over the place. I was actually on a job interview. So I'm looking to relocate.
In 1/2 mile, turn right on Green Tree Road.
Because I am looking to move away from New York. Because again, as you could tell by the tone in the first couple of minutes, listen, there's nothing like New York. You go to New York City, you get to look at the pretty buildings, all the fun things to do and see. But for me, that's about it. That's where it stops, folks. That's where it stops. So I'm looking, and plus the houses.
Turn right on Green Tree Road, then take the first left.
Are really, really expensive. I'm talking prices are I want to tell you about $800,000 for a decent house. I mean, that's a pretty big size house. $800,000. I mean, that's insane.
Turn left at the traffic light.
Do you know what you could buy in the South or even New Jersey for $800,000? You could probably buy yourself 2 homes, 2.5 homes. Honestly. But in New York, if you live there, you're paying for convenience. Convenience. You don't need a car. You could rely on public transportation if that's your thing. You could do that. You have cabs. You have trains. You have buses. You have all that. Heck, you even now have city bikes. Fact of the matter is, my generation, adults my age now. Shit, I remember when I was a kid. Adults my age now. No one has a house here in New York. Far and few between. Far and few. I gotta put this down.
In 1/2 mile, take the exit on the right to I-295 North toward Mount Holly.
Well, there you go. You know what area I am. I'm in the Mount Holly area, heading towards the Mount Holly area, which is down by Philly. So yeah, it's time to say goodbye to New York. My family is growing. I would never own a house in New York. In fact, because it's too damn expensive. It really is. Hey, listen, good to visit. I have a lot of things to do in the city. See, and I live, even if you move further away from the city, I'm not in the actual city, I'm in the boroughs of the city. But even if you move further away from the city, like Long Island, which is on the East Coast, but like the Hamptons going towards that area, it's expensive too. the taxes kill you. But the house price is a little cheaper. And if it's not the house prices, it's the taxes that will kill you. So, yeah, welcome to New York.
Take the exit on the right to I-295 North toward Mount Holly.
So yeah, what did I want to speak to you guys about besides, Philadelphia? A couple of things in the news. New York wise, over here, down in New York, in the subway system. If you're not familiar with the subway system, it's one of the main sources of transportation for a lot of people.
In 1/2 mile, turn left on Chapel Avenue East.
So being a major thoroughway of communication or source of travel, a lot of people that's how they go to work or do their day-to-day operations. So you have a lot of solicitation, and that's you usually have anything from
in 1/4 mile, turn left on Chapel Avenue East.
You have a lot of people soliciting, for. It's mostly people soliciting, saying that they're, homeless for,
Turn left on Chapel Avenue East.
Any type of funds, any type of money that you may have. They're asking for help. You also have just people in general. You have almost little kiosks where they sell newspapers, soda. So that's being sold down there in the subway. And then in this particular case, there was a Spanish woman that was selling Spanish pastries. And this made news because she was arrested for doing that by police. It's a video that went viral here in New York, and a lot of people are up in arms. The situation with that, when you try to sell pastries, for example, or it's considered being a vendor. And as with everything, you have to pay. The city wants their hand in everything. So the city said, that to sell this type of stuff, you need to have a vendor's license. The only problem is, as with everything, being that this city is so packed and many people, you already have a lot of vendors. That was already capped. They reached their cap. They reached their permit. Much like Uber, right? The rideshare app, they have been capped for New York City. There are not allowed to be any new Ubers and Lyfts coming into the New York system because it's been capped. There's too much. Quite simply, there is too much. And with all the vendor licenses being sold, being gone, reaching their cap of 4,000, it's too much. The city says that we have too many vendors. So because this lady did not have a vendor's license, she was arrested. And everyone is up in arms. And I could see, I could see both sides in the matter.
Take the exit on the right to I-295 North toward Mount Holly.
She was upset. She was upset. And, She was just trying to make an honest living for her family. But unfortunately, she was, and I get it, she was doing no harm. But unfortunately, you cannot just be doing that. Because if she did it, then everyone else would be doing it. And it would cause complete and utter chaos. There is already chaos. Everything in the city, being that it's so huge, there is already chaos. So imagine all of this. It would just, you can't do that. And it's unfortunate that she was made an example of.
Take the exit on the right to I-295 North toward Mount Holly.
But, unfortunately, that's what happened. What's the solution? She cannot make a living for her family because everything was kept. I get it, I understand. Unfortunately, and I apologize, unfortunately, she's going to have to find another way of, making a living for her family. I don't know if she's legal. I don't know if she had papers. I don't know if she has a Social Security card. I don't know the situation. I don't know how many kids she has. I don't know how many mouths she has to feed. But you know how it is. If you make an exception for one person, you have to make an exception for another person. Now listen.
In 1.5 miles, take exit 36A on the right to Route 73 South.
Before she was arrested, she had, numerous warnings, numerous fines that she didn't, obviously.
In 1 mile, take exit 36A on the right to Route 73 South.
So it's like, what else can you do? All these 4,000 other people that are food vendors, they're probably not rich either. Because they're not. They all are struggling, I'm sure. If you're going to make an exception for her, what about all these other people? That's why it's a tough situation. There are various programs here in the city. Various forms of assistance.
Take exit 36A on the right to Route 73 South.
Are they perfect? No. But at least it's something. So you hope that there will be some form of resolution for this lady and her family. That way she could eventually perform.
In 1/2 mile, take the exit on the right to New Jersey Turnpike, then keep left.
That way she could perform some type of income from her family, and that's the main part, and I don't know. I just wonder if she has any, if she has any form of paper, because it doesn't, places like McDonald's and all these other places, it's not like you're going through extensive interviews and whatever to be hired. They pretty much hire everyone. So I don't know. You feel for these people. You really do. We also have
take the exit on the right to New Jersey Turnpike, then keep left.
Taking New Jersey Turnpike, boys and girls. And that's not over here, because over here is Walmart, fine establishment. Picked up a lot of nice goodies, by the way, at Walmart. Our list came out too, by the way, of places that are following suit and will be closed on Thanksgiving, Black Friday, as it's called, after Thanksgiving. I think one of them that has been added to the list is Costco. Costco not only sells bulk food, but they also sell items such as they also sell items such as electronics. So that's huge. And they're saying no, we're going to be closed, and that's a good thing. I mean, when these people at retail, when you're working at retail, you already are working a gazillion hours. It's a job that's not.
Turn right on Fellowship Road, then take the second right.
It's not the job that's the most easy to deal with. People complain.
Turn right at the traffic light, then exit right.
They complain, and it's hard to deal with. Dealing in retail, it's not the easiest job. I know every job is not easy, but retail, man, especially during the holiday season, that is something.
Take the exit on the right to New Jersey Turnpike, then keep left.
We're taking the turnpike. Bye-bye, Philly, or New Jersey, Philly area. I love ye. This will actually be a good test run to see how the traffic is, because if I get the job, I take the position, I know where I want to buy the house, but it will
be in the left lane.
It will take maybe a couple weeks to secure the purchase of the house, so I might have to do a temporary commute. So this will be a good test run. But yeah, bravo to places like Costco, newest one I believe on the list, that's saying, you know what, I am not going to be. We're not going to be open. What has happened with society, where society no longer values family time? They don't value spending time with your family. I don't get that. No, there is no such day, and there's no such thing in corporate America's eyes now, it seems like, as having holidays, spending time with your friends and family. Friends, a lot of us have so much, crazy responsibilities, a lot of things to do, that Thanksgiving, Christmas, maybe not even Easter anymore. I mean, now it's, I think, just really down to, you throw in Easter there, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter. Well, you're down to three holidays that you're able to see your friends and family.
Continue on New Jersey Turnpike
during the year. A lot of times you hear the example. What a lot of people talk about is what they wish that they had accomplished. Not the things that they have already done. So he kind of used that analogy in the same regards of, I think as we get older, we're going to wish that we spent more time with our family. Instead of doing such and such, instead of working, and I don't know. And I just bravo to these places deciding to remain closed on Thanksgiving. It never was that way when I was a kid. Never. Growing up. And I get it now too. That a lot of it is, I think a lot of these stores, a lot of these chains, these major retailers, they rely on this. They rely on this because with like places like Amazon now, online shopping. You know, how many people, like, actually, if you think about it, how many people actually go to the mall? Like, when is the last time you guys went to a mall? Like, honestly. And, like, when you went to the mall and you honestly, like, purchased something, a lot of times, like I went to the mall, but that was, like, we just went to the mall just to... You know, I went to the mall just to be, just to pass time, just to be occupied. I was bored. It was, you know, haven't gone out anywhere. And you kind of do that just to kill time. But a lot of people, I think, just go look at the store and be like, I could buy it cheaper on Amazon. Or, I could buy it cheaper on eBay. As this truck is just plowing down the road going, however much knows how quickly this guy's going. Jerky. Anyway. So yeah, I mean, that is, a thing. So kudos. Did you guys hear the story? And if you didn't, that's why I'm here to break a story with you. This comes out of Florida. Yes, Florida. Now, before you do that sigh, I want you to bear with me. And, let's listen to what happened in that story. From Florida. A man said he was arrested. He was pulled over and eventually arrested because there was cocaine in his car. And he said that was not his. When asked whose it was, he said, I don't know. When asked how did it get there, he's like, officer, I think the coke it just blew in from the window into my car. Well, I guess that's why they call it blow after all, right? If you think about it, right? Well, I mean, why else would it be called blow? And I know Florida gets a lot of hurricanes, tropical storms. With all of that emotion, with all of that tropical storms and hurricanes, I'm sure it just simply, the weather just blew it into, it could have been like a tropical storm, and the wind was blowing and it blew right in. It probably came from the corner of the bodega in Little Havana. It blew right in all the way to where this young fellow was located in Florida, through the window. Plausible. Seems right. He probably had mistaken it. He probably, listen, the fact of the matter is it was probably his, but he thought he had gotten rid of it because prior he had ingested it through his butt cavity, and he forgot that one bag. He got the one, but he forgot the other bag. So there goes that story. Florida, ladies and gentlemen. Florida. I kid you not. I kid you not. Can't make this stuff up. You know, as a one little story to share with you guys on this episode of Evening. And it's so dark, I apologize. But by the way, look at my Chick-fil-A cup. I tell you, Chick-fil-A, their service, and I think I mentioned this in a prior vlog type thing. Chick-fil-A is bar none. It cannot be topped when it comes to service. Mr. Tom, how many barbecues would you like? Is 2 enough? Yes, thank you. You want a refill? Yes, thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you. And again, a lot of these restaurants try to copy Chick-fil-A's model, and it does not work. You know, as a father now, I realize how old I am. Not in the fact, like, I didn't need any reminders. Trust me, I know you have a little bit more aches and pains now than when you were a younger person. So that has creeped in. But I find myself having to explain to my son when my son says, "Daddy, what's this?" Like this weird thing, and I feel like so old. Like he looks at me like, "What in the world? What in the world is this?" So now, like being like, so taking it to the next step, being older now, 38. When I speak with some of my younger coworkers now, they don't know, like, when you show them, when you show them a tape deck in the car, they think it's a charging port for their iPhone. I mean, you show them an iPod, they're like, what is an iPod? You show them an old school caller ID, they're going to look at you like you have 5 heads. You know, the band of NSYNC that you or your spouse had listened to, they don't even know what NSYNC means. They assume that means when you have to plug in your charger for your charging your iPhone or Android to make sure it's synced in. You have a floppy disk. Whoa, you're going to get questioned. What in the world is that floppy disk doing? Floppy disk, what is that for? Oh, well, this was when we had DOS. DOS! What is DOS? Amazing. Or when you tell them, "Daddy, I'm listening to your CD. This is a CD." What exactly is a CD? Who listens to CDs anymore, right? Everything now is all streaming online through Pandora. You try to explain a CD. Oh boy. And then to take it one step further, you try explaining what exactly Napster is and how come it took 17 hours at one point to download your favorite CD that you still listen to religiously as your kids are embarrassed to hear it. Because you are listening to NSYNC, or you are listening to Vanilla Ice, or you're listening to New Kids on the Block, or you're listening to Michael Jackson. Daddy, what is this? Daddy, you're so old. Turn it off. Daddy, turn it off. You're embarrassing me. Wow, some of the old school things that now, as us 30-something-year-olds, close to 40-year-olds, grew up on as a kid, now they look archaic. Hey son, can you fax this for me? Fax? What's a fax? You don't want to be the old, cool, hip, old, uncool parent, now do you? Thank you for spending the time with me on this evening. And, we'll chat next week. Thanksgiving's coming up, so we won't speak before Thanksgiving. So I wish you and your family and friends a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you had fun listening to this week's episode. And any thoughts, any comments are always welcome. Welcomed, is that a word? I think it is. I hope all is well, folks, and I look forward to speaking to you guys very, very soon. Good night from South Jersey.